Hi, and welcome to LubeTheCube.com's next installment of Cube Review. JB here, Roc, and we're going to talk to you today about a couple of types that we didn't cover in our first series, and that would be our Type B, the Type 2A, this is the first generation, talk about that in a minute, and the Mini Dianshengs.
These are money, dude. Money.
So, without further ado, let's get right into it. One thing though, someone said we should do a collection video. We don't have time to put all the cubes that we own in front of you, but just so you know, we're qualified.
Alright, so
let's talk about the Type B first, Roc. I got a couple of Type Bs from Cube for you, and this is kind of a hated cube. From cubers, people say that they don't like it. It pops like the Dickens, and
which is true,
and it is to a large degree. So, but we do want to go over the cube and give you kind of our take. One thing about this cube and also the Type 2A that we're going to talk about, these have to be torqued down very tight in order to get them anywhere close.
With a drill.
Yeah, with a drill in order for them to be anything that you can use. Otherwise, you're going to run into the consistent popping. And I think that's why so many people say, oh, Type B is terrible, it pops, because they just simply can't tighten it by hand. My first impression of this cube, Roc, is it's a lot like a D as far as what it looks like and how the hardware is. And, it does have some good cornering capabilities, which I would probably is the reason why people want to use it in hybrids. But what do you think?
Let's get a better shot of that, but it does do pretty good. When Jamie first got it and, he brought it to work, all he had was a hand screwdriver. And, when I first tested it, it popped just ridiculous. So, he took it home and brought it back the next day. And it's really a lot better now. I mean, it really is. It does bind some. But the key with this and with this, where's the type? Yeah, the third generation Type A, with the wings. It's like ridiculous. You really have to tighten those things down by other means besides just hand tightening, or it's just not going to work. Overall, you're not going to use this as a speed cube to get good times, just because it's you can't count on it. But it is kind of a novelty. I mean, I do like the clear aspect.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know how much that you have to give up from, the integrity of the plastic or the capabilities of the plastic to make it clear like that. We have another transparent cube for you that we haven't put together yet. I'd like to kind of do that and see, if the transparency we think makes any kind of difference in performance. I also have another one that's just basically a black one that's been painted silver, and I'm sure you guys have all seen this one. And, it has similar characteristics, cuts pretty well.
Just show them up there, man. See the degree that's turning?
Yeah, that's a pretty good degree for for that. And I think that's probably the best thing about this cube. And
this is another Type B.
Another Type B,
Now, something interesting with this is this one is tightened tighter because it has to be, because the silver one was popping more. But after the silver wears off, it seems to go better. And I think regular CRC was the thing that took most of this off, or was it Jigaloo?
I use Jigaloo on this, but I wouldn't recommend starting that cube off with Jigaloo. I think that the silicone injectable from the Rubik.com website or CRC, like you say, would be a better option to start it off with. Or if you just can't wait, get some sandpaper and go to town.
Yeah. Again, more of a novelty cube. You're not going to get your best times with these. Just because this, you have to tighten down so much for it not to pop. And again, this assessment is just made off of a couple or several of these. It's not like where we have like a billion Cube for You brands. But I believe we have enough to make a pretty accurate assessment of these are not going to be your speed cubes, even though they are cool novelty cubes. You can still cube with them without a doubt.
And I think they have some potential. I mean, it certainly, if it fits your style. And I think that if you want to make a hybrid, it's a good cube to have. And, I think it's under a D and probably maybe under an E as well. So, but still, not a bad deal.
It's a time check.
we're halfway through.
Okay.
So, okay, let's talk about the Type A.
I'm surprised I like this thing. I'm totally shocked. I've never been a fan of Type A's, but
This is a Type A2, and it's the old type, so it's not completely sealed on the cubies. And we'll talk more about that. Pin Trickster had a really good post on speedsolving.com in the hardware forum about all the different A types and their differences. I suggest you check that out if you're wanting to know what type of A that you actually have. This one is a Type 2, and it's the original or the old model. And, you know, one thing about this cube is it's lighter than the regular A, not quite as light as the third generation A that we reviewed
or Diansheng.
You know, before. But, you know, the best thing about this cube to me is its cutting ability. You know, it does cornering pretty well. Of course, as soon as I say that, it won't corner for me. Yeah, right there. I got that side tightened right. It corners very well, and it can almost do 45-degree cuts, which is ridiculous. I mean...
But this was another one that you had to tighten down with the drill, right? I mean, before you got it to a place where you could rely on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely had to tighten it down with the drill. I could not even put this together with just a screwdriver and the pieces that provided with it. As a matter of fact, I was ready to throw it out the window. But I mean, I finally got it together, and you know, it's not bad. I mean,
this feels like, I think you had it right. This feels like what a Rubik's brand DIY should feel like. Like, it feels like a Rubik's brand, what the DIY should feel like. This is not Rubik's.
No, it's the Kwang Feng. Pardon the pronunciation. I really have no idea how Goja or something. I can't pronounce it. I'm American. What can I say? So at any rate, this is, I don't know, probably one. I personally think that the Type 3 for me would be a little bit better, but this one Roc likes better, and I don't see that there's really a whole lot wrong with it, other than, you know, if you have a significant other, which, let's face it, if you're a hardcore cuber, you may not, but if you do, they're gonna get really pissed off because this one is way loud.
Really loud. And you know, this third generation, my opinion on it has changed. I do think it has more potential than I gave it credit for. I was just being a cube snob with it when I first, you know, got it and started to play with it. I did over jigaloo this, and we'll talk about this in our lube video. Cube lube, jigaloo, CRC, Vaseline. You know, we'll post that video here for the next couple of days. But overall, not going to be speed cubes. This could be speed cube, definitely. It's pretty money. Let's talk about the Dianshengs, dude.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of these mini Dianshengs, dude. These are money.
You know, this always makes me beg the question: why does a Diansheng make a full size with the cubies like this? You know what I mean? I mean, this is like a Diansheng that cuts. Of course, you know the scheme is painted on, so you know about how that is. It'll wear off with silicone if you're not careful, and the red and the orange are too close for my liking. But I mean, it's fun to mini cube off, dude. It's a really fun thing to do. You can, you know, have races with your friends, and then, like, you know, I don't know.
And then when the boss comes, you can hide it real quick.
That's right.
Because that's what we do at work. Okay, listen. Sorry, Jason, if you see this. Also, my 9-year-old who, you know, solves the cube, this is great for him because it's like him holding a cube is like, you know, this gigantic cube for him, but this is, you know, perfect for his fingers. So if you want to get your kids into the cube, get them started young, this is, you know, this is great.
Yeah, I mean, and like I say, for a Diansheng, it cuts remarkably well.
Another thing we like to, you know, talk about consistency, which is important to us. We got 5 or 6, 5, I think, of these. They were all good. All of them were good. We'll talk about what type of lube and stuff we used on them, but you know, these were great right outside the box. You know what I mean? Lube did help them a little bit, but they were great right outside the box. And another thing with these, I was surprised. I had to go dig it up, but with each one of these, they were really cheap. You still get a full-size stand with them, which was really cool too.
Yeah, so I mean, why not? If you're going to buy stands for your cubes, just pick a couple of these and get some stands for yourself.
So I think that's it for this video.
I think that is it. We're running out of time, but once again, with the B, we're probably going to be a potential, but you know, get some of the other types first. A2, it locks a little bit, but cuts and could be a good speed cube, especially if it's your style. And finally, the Mini Diansheng, you should have at least 5.